I'm JD and welcome to my channel. So, you gotta start subscribing if you haven't subscribed yet, and you'll get more very interesting watch repair videos, and sometimes watch reviews, and sometimes some card tricks are also included. But please subscribe, and if you want to get a hold of me for doing some watch work, you can reach me at jdwatchservice@gmail.com. It's up there in the corner, jdwatchservice@gmail.com. So what are we going to do today? Well, also hit the like if you like the video, and hit the bell and you'll be notified when there's a new video available. We have a very old Waltham watch here. So there we go. And I'm going to have a little look at it right now and look what condition it's in. So let's have a look at it. Alright, so this is a Hunter case. The watch is in the Hunter position with the 12 o'clock position, really at the 9 o'clock position on the watch if this was 12. And it's a gold filled case. I do not have any indications on this case that it's solid gold. My assumption is it's gold filled. We can look at the back in a second, but looking closely at the dial here, there's a number of cracks on the dial. They're hairline cracks. This is a very old watch, so you can see the hairline cracks on the dial here. I will not be able to fix these hairline cracks, so they're almost impossible to do work on. So you leave them that way, you leave them vintage. There's a number on the case number here, and if I flip it to the back, we'll have a look here in a second. The case is actually not in too bad condition. It's got some slight machine decoration on the front here, and let's see, and everything seems to be in good operating condition. One thing I noticed when I first received it is that the pin for the case was way out, so I've pushed that pin back in. I could probably tap that in just a bit more, but for now I'm leaving it like this. It's pretty much all the way in. And the spring for the case right here, the case is going way back, which is not nice. They usually went back around this far, but this one's actually tilting back even further. But I can't see anything broken on this watch from that perspective, right? So now if I look at if this watch is settable, can I set this watch? I got to turn it around because I've got my camera facing the other way, but I very carefully pull the dial out. See if I can set this watch. There we go. I can hear it snap. I like to do it this way, by the way, where I take my hand and I brace my hand on the case on both sides, and then I use my other hand on top to pull that out. So I need to cut this thumbnail of mine, but it's been very useful for doing watch work this weekend. So that's it. And if I look at I'll flip this around for your convenience. So if I look at the dial here, it is actually working nice and smoothly. There doesn't seem to be any problem grinding or anything. And also, when I look at it sideways, I can see the separation of the hands. So I look for that as well to see if there's any problem. And as you can see, the hands are on nicely. No real issue there. And sometimes when I get a watch, the hands will be bent. This hand here looks like it's bent just a bit to this direction. Not a lot, but it looks just slightly bent to that direction. So that's something I cannot correct. There, I'll put it over the 12. You can see it. You can see it just turning slightly this way. I may be able to straighten that up. You have to be very careful doing that. I'm not too concerned because I've got plenty of other hands. There's a quick snappy video there. So I've got plenty of other hands I can use for this watch without a problem. And it's got the second hand here, which is good. So that's good. So let's close this case. And this case, you close it by pushing the crown down like this, right? And this little tooth, I'll say, just grabs that when it comes up. So it's spring loaded on the inside. So this is the crown. There's the bail. The bail is actually in very good condition. I have a tool that allows me to make a new bail if I need to, but this bail is in perfect condition. Oh, one other thing, this watch doesn't have a crystal. So it's missing its crystal, so I've got to see if I can find another crystal for this watch. There's nothing there. It's a bare crystal, and that's a missing crystal. I'd measure the width of the crystal from the edge here to the edge on this side, and then I'll add 0.2 millimeters to that measurement, right? So I may add 0.5 millimeters to that measurement. Depends how tight it is. I'll look and see if I have a crystal, but usually they're low dome crystals. So usually you have to special order these crystals for these watches because, as you can see, they have to be able to clear the minute hand as they go through, and they also have to be low enough that when you close the watch like this, it doesn't hit the crystal. So it's a little tricky to get the right crystal for this. So I always push the crown in when I close the watch. Push the crown in like that, put some pressure on it, and let the crown go. Otherwise, you're snapping that and you're removing material from the lid here. So if I look at it from the other side, the hinges look okay. I'd say they're great, but they're okay. This hinge here looks a little tiny bit bent, but there will be nothing I can do about that. I really don't do casework, although I can remove dents from cases and stuff like that. I don't do it very often. So it's got a dust cover on it. And let's look at the labeling on the watch. So what does it say? It says, I'm going to zoom, see if I can get closer here and focus. Trademark. So it's got a trademark with a star and a moon, and it says CWC company. So I'll have to look up what that is from might be Case Watch Company or Chicago Watch Casing Company. Probably Chicago. And it has a number as well. So 8095, that would be a 9 as well, 91. And there's some fingerprints on the inside. This is interesting. So these fingerprints could be as old as the watch. So the last time this watch was actually worked on, that could be the fingerprint, or it could be the fingerprint of the owner. So I was joking around with somebody online, and we were saying, I just removed George Washington's fingerprint from one of the watches. So, but I can add my fingerprint. So 100 years from now, when this watch is likely still running, my fingerprint will be on it. I often look on the inside too. You can see some markings. This is not evident, but it looks maybe on top here that it might be some markings of the previous watchmaker who did some work. Usually it's a catalog number they put on there. It's not a date. So people see a number and stuff, and it's not really a date. But you got to look on the edges. They would sometimes put them on the edges. Sometimes they'd put them on the dust cover. So let's look at the dust cover for a second. And what does it say? It says warranted for 25 years. So that means it's gold filled. We've got some more George Washington fingerprints here on this side. There we go. Good old George. Kept putting fingerprints on everything. He was probably a watchmaker. So it's a Crescent Watch Company. So it's probably CWC is Crescent Watch Company. And inside here you can see that they put the watchmaker servicing numbers, and it's been serviced two times maybe. I think that's it. 2 times. Anyway, that's that. So turn it around here and look at the movement. So the movement, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very old Waltham watch. It's a royal watch. American Waltham Watch Company is the AWWCO, and then Waltham's written Waltham, Massachusetts, Mass, and Royal is was the brand of that watch. And it's in pretty rough condition from what I can see. So if I just get a little bit closer to the jewels, the jewel holes. So this is the center wheel here, and it looks fairly good, right? It's got a little bit of mold everywhere, I think. I'll make sure I don't breathe stuff in. So this is the center wheel, which is actually the second wheel. The mainspring here is the first wheel. So the ratchet here for the mainspring is over the mainspring, and that's the first wheel. 1, 2 is the center wheel. 3 is an intermediate wheel, and that looks like it's got some crust or something around the jewel holes, right? Whatever that is. And this one here, it looks like it's got baked donut something on there. So I'm not sure what this is, but it doesn't look too good. It looks like a powder or something that's accumulated over the years. So this thing seriously needs cleaning. And that would be the third wheel, and then the fourth wheel is under here, and that's not the third. This is the fourth wheel here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fourth wheel is the seconds wheel. This one here, that's the seconds wheel. And then this is the escapement under here, and the escapement pushing the pallet fork and the balance. It looks as though the balance staff is still good on this because I move it around a little bit. It's good. I tried winding this and this thing really doesn't work well. It wants to go. It's one of these watches that kind of goes, if a watch could make noise, it would go like that when it wants to go. But I think there's a chance for it. I wound it up earlier and the mainspring wasn't broken, so the mainspring is good in there. It is an old watch, I can tell by the step on the balance and on the cock here, on the balance cock. When it steps down like that and screwed in lower like this, I know it's an older watch. Let's see if I can find a serial number and look this thing up. Right, what do we got here? That's 6995913. 6995913. Let's look it up. So if I look quickly at the numbers for this pocket watch, it's a Waltham from Waltham, Massachusetts. There's the movement serial number 6995912. I think it was 6995913. Did I make a mistake? Let's try this again. There, I'm back with the right data. So 6995913 is the serial number. So the grade is a Royal, or Royale, as people like to say. Model is a 1888. That's very handy when you're buying a balance staff and other things. You need to know the model number of the watch. The run quantity, so this watch is from somewhere between 1897 and 1898. Okay, that's pretty friggin' old. It's 2022 right now, so that's a more than 100-year-old watch. So if I had to do the math and I took a 98 and a 22, I did some stuff, it's over 100 years old. The run quantity was 200. So for this particular run or batch or whatever, total production is 79,000, which is not a lot for the whole of the U.S. It's a 16S size, which is sort of medium. Large is an 18S, small would be a 12S, and really small is a 16S. I've seen some 14S's out there and worked on one recently actually, and they're kind of an awkward size. So usually I'll be working on a 12, 16, or 18 pocket watch. It's got 15 jewels, and I showed you that a little earlier. Some of those jewels are pretty muddied up, so I'm not sure what the condition of the wheels are. The movement is in hunting configuration, which means that the 12 o'clock is over at the 9 o'clock position where you'd normally have it. If the crown is 12, so the crown, the position has been moved over, and that way when you open it up and you go, someone says, what time? You go, oh, I say, and you go snap, and it clicks open. You say, it's about midnight. And I'll show you that. I'll give you an example of how that works. But I'm not going to let this lid snap. I'm going to hold it because it's old. So what time is it, JD? Let me check. Oh, I'd say it's half past the hour of 12. All right, enough acting. So, and it is a 3/4 plate. And when you look at that, it means that it doesn't mean that when you're having dinner, you only have 3/4 of the plate filled with food. It means that this is a 3/4 plate, which means the balance is observable. The balance is out in the open, and the rest of it is all a plate. So 3/4 plate. These are a little bit tricky to get the pivots in and everything, but not too bad. So I think this one won't be too bad. And I'll have a look at what this plate configuration is, because it does look like there's 2 plates. So it's not a full plate. So it's 2 plates and only 1 serving. Anyway, regulator says patent. Not sure what that is, but the hairspring is a Bourget. It says it's adjusted, which is kind of cool, but it is not a railroad grade watch. Even though it was 1886, I think, when the railroad grade watches came in, somewhere around then, when it had that big accident. So that's the data on the watch. So let's get back to this watch again really quickly. So there it is again. There's quite a lot of corrosion on this watch. It'll be funny or interesting to see whether I can remove some of that corrosion. You don't want it to look brand new again because it is a vintage piece. So you want it to look vintage, but I do need to clean those jewels up, and I do need to look at this under a microscope to see if there are any cracked jewels on this side and or the other side. So it's not a highly jeweled watch. It's only got 15 jewels, but really back then they didn't, in the 1800s, they didn't really have that many highly jeweled watches. 15 jewel was your normal size or normal jeweling for a watch in the 1800s. And then as they went into the 1900s, the jewels started increasing. Your railroad grade watches would be 21 jewel watches, and I've worked on Elgin's for Bori out there, 23 jewel, beautiful pocket watches. And anyway, so this is a very old watch, but it's not in too bad condition for its age. If I could subtract 2022 from 1898, I could tell you how old it was. So there it is. So that's the pocket watch I'll be working on. I'll take this watch, I'll strip this down, as I've done many times. I'll take this, take the balance off. It's got one of these little star regulators that you rotate, and it just makes the regulator arm go back and forth, which takes these little regulator pins here and moves them along the hairspring to make it go faster or slower. Hopefully the hairspring isn't an issue in this watch, and hopefully I don't have any teeth issues as well. I'll be looking at all this stuff under the microscope to get a closer look at the situation. So there you go. That's the old Waltham watch I'll be working on likely tomorrow, and see if I can get that stripped down and ready for cleaning. I'll put that into my brand new Pearl watch cleaning machine, and that machine does a brilliant job. I cleaned a watch today. I cleaned another old Waltham today. As you can, I'll just flip this in for 2 seconds. I cleaned this Waltham today, and it is spanky clean. It's a very old American Waltham watch as well. The face is in good condition, and I haven't put the hands on because I have to actually make a balance staff for this watch. I don't think I can get one for it, so I've got to make one, and I'll do that. So that'll be a video I likely will make. So here we go. So let's see the old vintage American Waltham pocket watch, Hunter, I'll call it. So when I put the video up, it'll be called the Hunter watch. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching my channel. Please subscribe. Please click the bell. Please click the thumb up if you like the video. If you want to leave any comments, suggestions, corrections, I do take corrections. I don't always say the right thing at the right time. I'm not sponsoring anybody, as it says here. I just grabbed a hat really fast. I haven't shaved, but normally my t-shirt is sagging down really low, but for a little comic relief for you people out there, if you look really closely, you'll see, if I can see this, that there is a paper clip holding my t-shirt together on the back that my wife installed. If you got a sense of humor right now, you're laughing, okay? Because I was too lazy to change t-shirts this morning. Anyway, thanks for watching my channel. I hope you're entertained by all my nonsense.